Well, hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to episode number 110 of the Jesus Enrique Rosas show. We are live through YouTube, Rumble, and X right now. And if I don't forget to do it, I will also upload these shows to Spotify so you can enjoy them on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and everywhere that you can listen to podcasts. So there's no reason that you miss this show. Best way to support my channel, my videos, my work here is to like and subscribe. That's it. If you need to contact me for any reason whatsoever, there's my email in the description wherever you are watching this. My merch is also there. My books are also there, and anything that you needed to contact me are also there. I think that we are ready to begin. Just before I check that, effectively we are live with no issues on all three platforms. Some of you can't hear me. I don't know. Maybe check your sound because my sound likes okay, I guess. I think that we're ready to begin. I'm keeping an eye on your comments. Nice. Keeping an eye on your comments right there. Making sure that everything is great, and all your super chats and super stickers I will be reading in between the in between the topics. And by the way, before we begin, remember that every single one of these topics, I will be just chopping them and taking to my dedicated channels. Right now, you're watching through the Body Language Guide channel, my original channel. Make sure to subscribe. We're so close to 1 million subscribers. But I've also got the Power Pundit on YouTube, my dedicated channel to American politics. I am not going to do live streams there, but the individual clips, videos that might be very political are going in there. So make sure that you pay a visit to the Power Pundit and like and subscribe. That is pretty much, and we're ready to start. And to start, we need to address Jesus, Joseph, FYI, more, not more. Yeah, I know that more is a typo, but I like more, with the typo, with the intensity of more. In fact, I have some merch with more. I've also got 7,000 other channels. Yeah, I'm crazy. I just, it's so easy to create a channel. It's easy to create a channel on YouTube. It's not easy to grow a channel on YouTube. It's like children. It's easy to have them, but to nurture them, it's another thing, totally differently. But right here, it's part of the job, and part of the job is like talking about Tom Homan arriving in Minneapolis, the border czar. And by the way, today, Grok, I take a shortcut most of the time right now. You can't just tell Grok, generate an image of Tom Homan dressed as Judge Dredd, right? The legendary comic book character. Remember that Stallone movie and the Carl Urban, not Mark Urban, Carl Urban movies. And Grok was offline, so yeah, it was time to go and do this the old-fashioned way. So that's why you have Tom Homan dressed as Judge Dredd. Old-fashioned way. No AI was used in making this image. That is the kind of things. That is the kind of disclaimers that one has to do nowadays, because everything is AI. And that's why I'm coming back to daily live streams. So you have an unfiltered, unedited show. And if you want to watch the standalone clips, then you can watch them later. But we need to address actual AI failures, because that I made that analysis. I made that analysis of that deadly shooting, that ICE shooting in which Alex Pretty lost his life tragically. And I saw posts on my timeline like this one. Mohammed Noor: words can't describe our pain, our hearts are broken, but our spirits are strong. Alex Pretty was killed standing for his neighbors. This has to stop. Our community deserves safety, transparency, and accountability. Rape Alex. And I what I saw this and I wait a second. There's something off. I can't put my finger to this. I know I shared his picture when I made my analysis, and what? All right, this looks quite different from the picture that we just saw. Okay, what is happening here? It's like the color is different. The jaw is wider. The nose is is different as well. What? Okay, people are actually using AI to looks max this guy, to beautify him, because it seems that the original picture was okay. I can understand that you can color correct the picture. That's something that I could do right now. Maybe I can do it right now. Maybe add more saturation. Okay, we can add some saturation because maybe the photo is bad. We can add some saturation. Okay, so the skin color looks better. Okay, that is much better. Much better. We go back. Nice job. Yeah, it's years of practice with this. But another thing is to make him look like a Chad, like an absolute Chad. What? Why are you guys trying to make him better looking through AI and filters? That's actually twisted. And people are saying that, these were apparently women. I have no way of proving that, but I don't know. As in, I wouldn't say that, oh, yeah, women are so, because women, in fact, we men are more visual than women. I don't know how that works. People are claiming that this was a job of women, but it turns out that, yes, he was modified with AI, and I would ask you the question, why stop there? I mean, you can go all the way. You can just pump it all the way up to 11. All the way up to 11 and just draw the point home. Imagine, you could even make him black. Put Idris Elba in his place. And that would be fitting, right? If Netflix makes a movie at some point, a documentary, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna change into black. Yeah, I can't breathe. I watch this. Yeah, that is the joke that I have to make. By the way, the videos and images that you're watching about this guy allegedly on Times Square billboards, those are fake. Those are AI. I'm not showing they're here because I really thought they were legit until I found out that, yeah, those were fake. Nobody is creating billboards. But there's another problem with AI in this case, and it's that people are circulating this completely made-up photo of what happened. This is a made-up photo of the incident. And no, this is absolutely made up, and I cannot understand how so many people with, let's say, jobs in the government were sharing a picture in which one of the officers was literally headless. Totally, completely headless. What is this? And yeah, oh, we remember you. Yeah, I also remember that this guy had a head. At some point in history, I watched the videos, and I'm absolutely sure that there was not any kind of sleight of hand, any magician's trick. David Copperfield was nowhere to be found. So yeah, when did his head disappear? No, that is not happening. And there are also clips again. I don't want to share the clips because I know that people could clip them from my show. Clips circulating on Facebook that are absolutely asinine. I mean, you have details, you have a gunfire, you have everything like you were in a Michael Bay movie, and what we call Facebook Americans are falling for that. Millions of views, tens of thousands of comments, tens of thousands of reactions, tens of thousands of shares on AI-generated stuff. So again, I am showing you this for the sole reason of mocking people using AI for this. I know that sometimes it's hard to spot things, spot the real deal in the original source, but the original source works for a reason. It's the real thing, it's as close as the real thing, and that's what we should use for any kind of analysis. So again, that's AI is great for many things, but it can be dangerous because there are people that are going to believe this is true. They're grandmas on Facebook, totally oblivious, sharing this on their WhatsApp groups. Oh my God, how is this? I found something strange in this image, but I can't put my finger to it. But it was a tragedy nonetheless. We should share this. This was shared by Yubzu before. Never forget this photo. Never forget the day a squad of headless zombie super soldiers executed a man in the street for absolutely no reason. Yeah, I can imagine. Maybe I could get like 10 million subscribers on Facebook, but you know that 10 million subscribers on Facebook is like a net negative thing to have. It's not something that you want to have. In fact, I used to live stream to Facebook as well. You know that you cannot say anything political on Facebook because you get banned. You get banned. I get banned. I am not going to do that again. And just for the record, this is important. If we have to go with the truth or with what actually happened, because Instagram, Facebook, all this, I don't even mention Blue Sky, but you can imagine all them arguing with this 99% narrative that it was an execution. And part of the things that we need to remember, David Marcus says it for the 1000th time. Pretty was not at a protest. There was no protest. The protesters arrived after the shooting. He was involved in an organized direct action to impede federal agents. Stop saying he was at a protest. It's just a lie. And yes, it's a lie in so many ways that these people, the level of desperation of the narrative is something to behold. Simply something to behold. Cernovich, they're launching their nukes. Jake Tapper is pushing the claim that ICE is using ovens. And this was an actual thing. I don't know if I have access to that clip right now. I didn't add it. But Jake Tapper had this guest on his show, and he said this guest was dressed like this woke libtard guy. He said that they're not throwing people inside ovens yet. And Jake Tapper did not correct him at all. They didn't say anything. So this is the kind of narrative they want to push. And also Tim Walz, you remember, we're going to be talking about Tim Walz in a while, and that phone call with Donald Trump. Tim Walz is calling our Bolsheviks and Frank. That is not what you do when you're winning over hearts and minds. They are desperate. We are winning. And this clip shared by Fisher King. People on the right and in the center need to understand that the left really views enforcement of immigration law as Nazism, and they plan to retaliate. Kara Swisher here compares Stephen Miller to Heinrich Himmler, and by implication, Trump to Hitler. She is not kidding. Yeah, this is insane.
And I would last like to call out Stephen Miller, who is in the center of this. We always focus on Trump, as we often focus on the top people. But Stephen Miller, like a man named Ben Detson, he was the one who created the internment camps for Japanese. Heinrich Himmler in the Nazi regime. This is what he is. And he of course, Trump gets most of the blame being at the top. But people like Stephen Miller will go down in history as evil, had blood on his hands, and should be jailed at the very end of this. And you're absolutely right. I do want to make one more.
So, yeah, it's incredible how when you talk about law enforcement, and this is something that I have noticed time and time again, when I tell people do not get in the way of law enforcement, that it's like triggering to so many people, even conservatives, people that claim to be conservatives, people who claim to be on the right. This statement. But by the way, Megyn Kelly said that today. I said, oh, wait, why? This is something that I can agree with Megyn Kelly. do not get in the way of law enforcement. And that reduces the odds of getting shot and killed like to zero, more or less. If you stay at home, your odds of they're not zero, but they're very slim. You have to be, I don't know, final destination level bad luck for something for that to happen. But she's got a point. That is a point. Don't get in the way of law enforcement. That will save your life. Absolutely. And it sounds like it's baffling. It's like an insult to people. Oh, so you're going to leave these people act just like that, like they're the Gestapo. No, they're law enforcement. It's that simple. But, well, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. And the thing is, we need another topic to talk about here. There's another topic that there's not only people having a problem with law enforcement and not getting in the way of law enforcement. That statement is triggering people so much. But there are women, liberal white women online saying that they're going to take matters into their own hands. And this is my call for you. Please don't do that. I'm gonna reach out to you. If by any chance you're watching my show, don't do it. It's not worth it. Maybe you don't agree with ICE, you don't agree with deportations, maybe you hate Trump. I can respect that. You have all the right, but don't do anything stupid. You have kids at home. You have a loving boyfriend. You have a loving husband as well. You have to take care of them all. Please don't get yourself in trouble. Don't get yourself in trouble and do the right thing. But I don't know if they're going to listen to me. Even if I have, my Latino accent, that my Latino accent has that special effect. I don't know if that reminds them of Jorge, the one who mows their lawn. I don't know. This is like I should have that connection with them, but I don't know if they're listening to me. And they are planning to do things like this. Liberal mother buys bulletproof vest so she can go and obstruct ICE. All right, no, this cannot go well.
I just searched for a bulletproof fucking vest. I spent a year wearing one in Baghdad. And here I am 20 fucking years later, searching for one because my government wants to fucking kill me. To anyone who voted for him, and especially those that keep supporting him, fuck you. Fuck you.
All right.
And it's not just fuck ICE, it's also fuck Border Patrol and fuck federal agents.
Okay, I think that maybe Jorge is shagging her real good. Besides her boyfriend, not her husband. Her husband has the cock chair.
And also, I guess, if anybody has suggestions, I'm starting to make a list of things that I need to purchase to prepare for what is inevitable. Yeah.
Oh, a cat! Oh, man. Oh, my God.
Let me know what's on your list. Let me know what I should get. Because here we go.
Okay, she's got the crazy eyes, but points, at least the positives, there's no septum ring. So, okay, we can say that, my God, the crazy eyes. The crazy eyes, this is not going to work. White liberal woman influencer with more than 500,000 followers. More than 500,000 followers. Says liberal women have been waiting for any reason to fight. She literally starts to shake with enjoyment, talking about finally being able to get out and fight. Why? Why would they do this? I mean, no. This is gonna end bad for you.
I have figured out though, why they're so they're so scared of liberal women, and why we're so activated is because we've been waiting for this fight forever. Finally, all the stuff we've stomached.
I am gonna tell you, I made the joke You know, I have said this many times. I'm going to repeat that in case you're interested in getting into that, you know, tap into that market. You know that the genre of reading of books, most profitable genre of books on Amazon is romance novels, which is basically smut, right? So again, if you write smut based on ICE, Border Patrol, you know, liberal women being subdued by ICE officers, you will become a millionaire. Maybe you can use AI to write that. I'm going to give you an idea. I'm thinking about that. I'm seriously thinking about that because these women seriously look like they are underserved in the sheets department. And I'm not talking about Excel or any of that. No, it is this is like they are craving for something, and it's like they're trying to redirect that energy. Like there's not really Jorge shagging them or anything. They need something to redirect that energy, and yeah, $1 billion idea. Maybe at some point even Blake Lively can make a movie with your book. You never know.
Roe vs. Wade being overturned, like all the BS about like women's rights and our bodies and our autonomy and like no fault divorce. We have been stewing for years. It's in our blood, centuries.
Yeah, we have been stewing for years. Yeah, but it is in the vocabulary, it's in the attitude, it's in the body language.
So yeah, we're I guess a dog with a bone. Yeah, we're not letting it go. And women who are angry and been angry for a while, yeah, they're scary. I'm so mad and excited.
All right, I'm so mad and excited. Okay, she's going to use that. She's gonna use that thing like a jackhammer. Okay, it's like Robin Williams said and Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't know how she keeps her teeth. I don't know how she keeps her teeth. Leftist says she isn't afraid of immigrants, but of white men, especially Republicans, and she wants to stay as far away from them as humanly possible. All right. She's also got the eyes. You know, ice. She's also got the eyes. It's like we could make a song. I don't know, ice, baby. No, wait, that's already taken. But let's watch this.
I want to make sure the world understands this clearly. I'm not afraid of immigrants. I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid of you white men, specifically Republicans. And I want to stay as far away from you as humanly possible. So coming from a woman, just understand that is who we're truly afraid of.
We are truly afraid of you, Republican man. I mean, I'm going to go back to our crazy-eyed lady with at least no septum ring. Okay, that is a silver lining. But I don't know what is the point of this. I really want to know. Every time I see one of these clips, I want to believe this is some sort of satire or parody, or they are, I don't know, comedians, or I don't know. But if when you're talking about comedy, when you're talking about humor, you usually go over the top. That's something that I do. I try to exaggerate the satire parts, the parody parts, because so to make sure that you get the idea, you get the message that I am joking, right? But then I realized I watched this all the way to the end, and I do not detect any sort of parody. I don't detect any sort of snark besides being clear and serious about the message that they are conveying. And that's when it dawns on me. These women are saying this for real. And that is concerning. And that is actually concerning because these are the tip of 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 the iceberg. These are the ones recording a TikTok about that. How many of these women out there maybe don't have TikTok, or they use it, a TikTok, just to I don't know, scrolling and not interacting with anything, that think like this. Think about that. How many women are on Instagram and they just consume, just like, they don't say anything, they don't create any content, and think like this. And those women with their say, limited perception of what is going on. Yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm not going to say that they're crazy. They just have a limited and misleading perception of what's going on. And that has happened so many times. It happened with you remember the very fine people hoax that so many people repeat to this day. Suckers and Losers as well. It was a hoax. Suckers and Losers was a hoax. So many people repeating this. I don't know if the general public, or at least the sane public, are realizing the mental illness, pandemic, epidemic, I don't know how to call this, that is happening in women and men as well. I'm not going to be misogynist and I'm not going to be sexist. This is all both women and men. But I would blame liberal men even more, because it should be the role, the task, the challenge to liberal men to put some sanity into your women. But I know that you're not going to do it. And that is a huge problem. Because, women can amplify, you can channel all that motherhood energy that might or might not be, but in this case, it seems like there was a mother, but that it can channel that unused motherhood energy into abroadians. And that shouldn't be happening. That is dangerous. So yes, this is my call to liberal men, which I know that they are not going to do anything about this, to try to put some sense into your women. Because, that is, I think that is the only way. And if these women don't have at least a liberal man to, I don't know, to listen to, maybe we can include some kind of subliminal messages in those smart ice books. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. Maybe I'm the one to do this. Maybe I'm the one. I am the one. No, the wise boyfriend is just interested in, the horizontal mambo. He doesn't care about her politics at all. He doesn't care. Fabio doesn't care about her political leaning. So again, let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. This is going to go on my Body Language Guy channel. Much love and bliss. So yes, this is. We can spend hours here. Just had 3 clips talking about this. Just had 3 clips talking about this. I needed you to watch this before we address the Tom Homan arriving in Minneapolis, because this is an actual problem. This is an actual problem that is happening. Should not be happening, but that's. Higher education can be translated to it would only take one generation. But you think that higher education is the thing? I don't know. There's many people who are educated, but they are not really smart. And when it comes to not being really smart, I'm going to tell you something about being smart. One thing that makes you instantly smart is to know the simple fact that you should never, ever grab a flashbang grenade when you see one. Maybe you see one on the street. Oh, hey, look at that. Looks like that thing that Jesus showed us on his show. Maybe if I can grab it. No, that is as I told the liberal women in the previous section. This is how you identify flashbang grenades. All right, what does a flashbang grenade? This is a moment. This is like those mini PSA that popped up on television like decades ago. Flashbang grenades. When you see one on the street, you should not grab one of these. M84 produces a bright flash and a loud bang through side holes. So make sure if you see one, stay away from it. Run away if you can. So you remember that you saw those animations, black and white animations, and the little dude grabbing the M84. I can imagine, I don't know, Goofy doing the whole M84, grabbing it, and it blows off. It's going to produce a bright flash and a loud bang through side holes. And yeah, the light intensity is measured in candelas. 6 to 8 million candelas. That is going to blind you for a few minutes. Okay, I don't know if for a few minutes. Yeah, I that was my best. I need to work on my 50s documentary voice. And the sound level is gonna be 170 to 180 decibels. That is like being next to a 747 taking off, which basically can rupture your eardrums. It's gonna rupture your eardrums if you're really next to it. These are non-lethal weapons. And it's obvious that to generate this, they're going to, well, let's say employ a chemical reaction. And if you're holding one of these piggies, when they go off, it is not going to be good for your hand. I mean, I don't know why you might be asking, why am I talking about this? Model 7290 produces a bright flash and a loud bang through slits in the top and bottom. Some models can also release tear gas. This is a bit milder, 4 to 5 million candelas, 165, 175 decibels. Yeah, this is going to absolutely knock your socks off. Knock your socks off. But what happened? Why am I mentioning flashbangs? It turns out somebody did not watch this kind of PSAs when she was, a little girl on TV. That's why we needed this PSAs, this public service announcement. This fool grabbed a flashbang before it exploded, and now she's running around screaming, "Medic!" like she's in Saving Private Ryan. I don't know, I love war movies. It is usually when you see the scene of a war movie, is not the one who gets injured, but somebody next to the one who got injured who begins to yell, "Medic! Medic!" We've seen those movies. These people are LARPers. They're pretending to be, I don't know, some kind of soldiers, and totally unprepared for the little game they are playing. They don't understand. This is the real FAFO. I'm going to show you this only for, educational purposes.
Medic.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I needed the man down. Oh. Did she blow her hand off? No. You can see in all the angles that these are not kinetic weapons. So they are not going to explode in the sense that they're going to be a frag grenade or have pellets or any of that. But the fact that they have this flash and this sound, there's a chemical reaction that goes off, and of course the chemical reaction is going to have some impact of some kind. Precisely, you don't grab a flashbang grenade when it's live. You don't do that. So no, she didn't lose her hand. It looks like she did.
Oh my God!
It's gonna take some stitches, but as far as I saw,
Oh my God.
she didn't even lose any fingers. She's got all her fingers. It's gonna be a bit painful. Fun fact, you have a 0% chance of getting your hand blown off by the flashbang grenade if you don't try to pick a flashbang grenade that was tossed in your direction because you're an unhinged radical leftist. That is, 100% true. And this is how they see themselves. They think, they believe, they actually believe that they are these soldiers are fighting for this cause. And I can understand the sentiment because I was young as well. I was not a revolutionary by any means. I was not. I was more like, an effing hippie. I'm gonna talk about effing hippies a bit later, but no, I was not like a revolutionary. But as a man, I have gone through that sense of feeling like I'm doing something for my country, fighting this evil, I don't know, government or corporation or whatever. I'm like William Dafoe in Platoon or something like that. Faithful season 2.0. Yes, yes. This is not something that you do yourself. This is not something to you do to yourself, and I really will encourage you again to stay safe, stay calm. Please stay home. Maybe do as Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is intelligent. She sends strongly worded letters. You could send a strongly worded tweet. And there you go. You're safe at home. This ice pigs should be thrown in jail. There you go. You are part of the resistance right now, and you're safe at home, eating your hot pockets in your mother's basement, and nice. Nobody's getting hurt with your strongly worded tweet. Let's learn that from Pam Bondi. Let's learn that from Pam Bondi. We have this as well. The gang is together in town. This was so good to see. It could have ended very differently. This is good for the United States. Was Trump? I'm going to mute this. I think that we don't need the sound. But Trump is hanging out with Elon Musk again. And yes, I think this is good for the United States. And that was unavoidable. This was inevitable. Why? Because they know that China, let's talk about a bit about what is happening with the China. If China, it having this stronghold, this foothold, I don't remember how to say that, on Canada, on Europe right now, you know that both Canada and Europe are in bed with China right now. That is one of the reasons we see that the euro, by the way, getting stronger in regards to the dollar right now. It's not that the economy of the United States is going bad. It's that the markets are bullish because precisely of how Europe and Canada. But I think that that's just Susie Wiles in there. Oh my God. This is like, you remember, I don't know if you remember that video clip from Beck, Devil's Haircut. Remember Devil's Haircut? That you see the shots, and at the end of the video, you have this zoom ins, and you find, those details in the background. Oh yeah, Susie Wiles is always in the background. It's always in the background, lurking right there. Oh yeah. I think that Susie Wiles is like Alfred to Batman. You have here, there's Batman, Iron Man, and there's Alfred right there in the background. So, this was inevitable. Trump knows that he needs Elon Musk. Elon Musk knows that he needs Trump. And, well, I think this is the way that we make America and the world great again. And this is the only way. This is the only way to stop China in the kind of insanity like Europe right now. They have signed for this wind turbines farm, this huge wind turbines farm. They never learn. They keep investing. That is all corruption in the sea. I don't know, why would you install wind turbines in the middle of the sea? You know how unpractical that is? How you cannot recycle all that stuff? But again, money is flowing. They're not going to do anything about nuclear. No. They're not gonna do anything about solar. No. They're gonna do the most inefficient way of clean energy while they keep buying gas from everywhere. What do you think? What do you think Qatar has so much money? I was learning that these days. Qatar has so much money not because of oil, because of natural gas. I didn't know that. I'm finding out things. about these countries. And yeah, it's not only Qatar is not only selling to Asia. It's Europe. It seems to be a good client as well. So yes, we need this kind of get-togethers to see what happens. There are other opinions, of course. Going back to we were talking about immigration. Rand Paul's solution to illegal immigrants in the U.S. I think this is a topic that we need to address. Senator Rand Paul's solution to illegal immigrants in the U.S. is to get to stay, but to not get welfare or citizenship. I want to listen to his actual words to know exactly what he said, because I have to say, I remember Rand Paul with Anthony Fauci. Back in the day with Anthony Fauci, he was so based, but he became so triggered with all the immigration stuff and all that Trump's tariffs. And I don't know, maybe we can listen to him.
You're going to shock you. I'm a moderate on this. I actually think that most of the people that are here and working lawfully and can pass a background check, I would give them no welfare, and I'd give them no citizenship, no voting privileges, but you can work and we won't arrest you.
Okay. No citizenship, but a potential path to citizenship?
I think it's better just to say the trade-off is this, that you came illegally. Right now the law says you got to go back and you'll never get in, basically. So the compromise is you came in illegally, you just don't get to be a citizen, your kids will be. Now the new ones, the 8 million.
Well, your kids will be. That is at least something. I'm watching this from the angle of if I was an illegal resident, illegal migrant in the United States, then how would that work for me? It's like I'm this limbo. I saw some examples of immigration limbo in which I was wrong. I thought at some point that if you spent decades in the United States and you did not regularize, or you did not make yourself, or you didn't find a way to become a legal resident, then it was on you. But then I find out that there are legal limbos in which, you can basically be put in limbo and not have any sort of pathway to a green card, much less to a citizenship. So some people are okay-ish with that, but at the same time, you can be deported literally at any minute. I don't know if people could be okay with that, with that situation. Maybe if their kids can be citizens, but what happens maybe if your kids are 7 or 8 and you get a deportation order? That will still be your responsibility. That will still be the family's responsibility over those kids. That is important, because I see so many people, they're doing this to these parents of these kids. No, the parents did to themselves, and the parents did to their kids. It's that simple. That's how the law works. And if you want to live in a country, if you want to be part of a society, the number one rule is to obey the rules of the society. I don't know how is that so hard to understand. And if you opt to be in immigration limbo, then you have to be aware of the risks that being in immigration limbo entail. It's that simple. I know that it can sound cruel, but it's the fair thing to do for, one, the actual American citizens, and two, the legal immigrants, those who have immigrated lawfully.
Now, the new ones, the 8 million that might have come in last year, some of them need to go back, and particularly any of them committing crimes. The compromise I'm offering is different than anybody's ever talked about. Everybody thinks the compromise has to include voting and citizenship. If in Texas we gave amnesty and let, a couple million people vote, immediately Texas becomes Democrat for the next 20 years. So that's what it's all about. It's about voting. I think some of the best Americans just got here, frankly. They have good work ethic. They're hardworking people. They work in our fields. They pick our tomatoes. They clean fish. They work in chicken houses. They do a lot of the dirty jobs in our country are done by immigrants.
Yeah, it's like that. I think it was Chappelle who made a joke about if a Mexican and a Chinese had a kid, that kid would be the most hardworking dude in all the United States. So yeah, it was that kind of joke. Yeah, they work hard. That is undeniable. Nobody can deny that. But at the same time, yeah, you have this. You have this legal implications that you enter the country illegally. What are we going to do about that? this is a sensible approach. I'm not gonna lie, but the problem is that every sensible approach ends up being weaponized. Every sensible approach ends up being exploited. That is a fact. And the more it is exploited by a few, the more it's going to be exploited by many. And we start at square one again. Again, it's not an easy situation. I've seen some examples yesterday of, I'm going to try to show you an example that I had of an elderly lady who was, see that she was 70 years old. She's 70 years old. I'm going to tell you one exception. They say this one. I have this one. Kyle Cheney, he was sharing these more than 2,000 cases in which federal judges have ruled ICE has illegally detained people without bond or due process. He says illegally, but I was checking some of his examples, and so many of his examples were totally legal. But there was one, the one that he said that it stands out. It certainly stands out. And yes, I think this is not the kind of things that you, as an ICE officer or anybody deporting people, wants any of this. I am pro deportations. I am pro ICE, but one might be pro deportations, but detaining a 70-year-old ill woman. This woman has an illness. He immigrated 26 years ago. As soon as, like months after she immigrated, there was this order to be deported, but it was to Iran. That was the problem. She was put in this unsupervised parole limbo by Bush in 2008. Has no criminal record, no pathway to be deported because there's no way to deport her. As far as I know, there's no way to deport her because you cannot deport people from the United States to Iran, because there are no diplomatic relations with Iran and there are no flights to Iran. So, yeah, that is peak assholery. I mean, and you might ask, when was she detained? She was detained when she was for her usual checkup of her OSUP at ICE offices. So, yeah, that was a low blow. That was, man, there's so many criminals out there. Yeah, you can start with the criminals. I'm going to say that. Again, I'm pro deportations, but this sounds like, I needed one to finish up my monthly quota. Let's throw her in the bin. And still, the law says that if you can't, you cannot detain her more than 6 months. So this was in November, by the way. This should be, she should be out by April in theory. But again, what was the necessity of this? There's so many more dangerous and more potentially dangerous and actual criminals out there. Yeah, they're supposed to be focused on the criminals out there. This is not it. This is not it. You can have an ounce of humanity, understand, okay, the framework of things. You know, this is not it. Again, this was the example in which she can't have a green card. There's no path to citizenship for her. She was in immigration limbo for 26 years, and all of a sudden she was thrown in a cell, being ill, and they lost their, with no criminal record. I don't know. I think that's not fair.
So they also came here with ambition because they want a better life at great peril, and great risk.
And some of them are here illegally. I would have a work program. I'd let them sign up for a work program, pass a background check.
But do you think that they should have to go back home in order to become a citizen? Like if you could show, like if some guy came over here 20 years ago, started off as a laborer, now he's a carpenter, he's working for some construction company, but he's an illegal.
Right.
Like,
the trade is you don't get citizenship at all. Your kids will. I would just say you don't get citizenship. That's your trade-off. Here's an interesting survey.
That could be a good trade-off.
Let's find 1,000 people who are in Texas illegally and do a poll and say, would you accept this? Would you accept that you don't get to vote during your lifetime, but your kids will get to vote if they were born here in exchange for not having to worry about being in a car accident or being sent back to Mexico? I'll bet you 80% of the people here illegally would take work without citizenship. But you know who wants the citizenship and doesn't care about work? Democrats. All they care about is the voting part.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Rand Paul on that one. So you can, this is kind of the arguments that you can have this middle ground. Okay, this sounds more or less logical. And again, you can have your stance that no, absolutely all of them, absolutely every single one of them has to go. But even so, there must be priorities. The criminals should be prioritized over everyone else, because you want to, first and foremost, you want to feel as safe as possible as soon as possible. And the only way to do that is by, well, literally enforcing the deportation of people with a criminal record. The problem is that the sanctuary cities are the problem in the United States. And I still don't know how sanctuary cities are a thing in the United States, because we know that is just a nest for the worst of the worst. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. So, see, I see that so many of you have are thinking about, this compromise a bit, and say, okay, maybe these people, their cases can be reviewed if they have 26. Imagine if you are 26 years in the United States and you have never got into trouble. I think that would be, and you cannot be deported because you come from Iran, and you know how it's Iran right now. Yeah, you have to be an asshole. You have to be an asshole to not just not, I don't know, review that. I didn't see as many protesters out last night after the Signal chat drop. We're gonna talk about that as well. I'll talk about that. And oh my God, we are almost 1 hour in, and haven't mentioned Tom Homan. What is happening? I'm gonna talk. Let's talk about that call between Trump and Tim Walz. Okay, maybe have her deported to another country. I don't know how that would work. Have a country that can receive her. I don't know how that work. Oh, that would be messy legally. What would she, her legal status? I know that many people are going to say that is not my problem, and yeah, they also have a point. But again, you have the law, and the law is to be interpreted. And Rand Paul is close on how to handle this. Yeah, he's got a point. He's got a point. It's, as rough edges, not Rand Paul, the idea, but it can. The Greenland. Send them to Greenland. It's too cold in there. It's too cold. It's too cold. So we need to talk about this. So Donald Trump had a call with Tim Walz, or Tim Walz had a call with Donald Trump, however you want to put it. Everyone in their own camp is saying that Donald Trump was the winner and Tim Walz was the winner. I don't know who was the winner, but I have an idea who is going to get the most out of it. Governor Tim Walz called me. Let's see. Oh, it was Walz who called Trump. It's important. With the request to work together with respect to Minnesota. It was a very good call, and we actually seem to be on similar wavelength. That sounds like that meeting with Mamdani. The kind of things that Trump does, that he says a lot about the dude that he is talking about, but at the same time leaves this space to some kind of agreement. Crime is way down, but both Governor Walz and I want to make it better. President Donald J. Trump. Let me see what he said on his Truth Social. I told Governor Walz that I would have Tom Homan call him, and that what we are looking for are all criminals that they have in their possession. Okay, so hand them over. The governor very respectfully understood that, and I will be speaking to him in the near future. It is interesting that all this happened after the Signal Gate chats were dropped. I can imagine all those people that are literally in the government, not even tied to the government, but in the Minnesota government, tied on those chats. And Kash Patel already said that he's on that, reviewing all those connections, all those people, all those administrators of all those groups. It is interesting that not 24 hours later. I mean, I was finishing yesterday's live stream, and it's not last night. It was like 7 or 6 p.m. for me, and it was just entering the news that they had this call, because it was, that's so fast that this was happening, but it was so convenient. That is basically after all this dropped. He was happy that Tom Homan was going to Minnesota. Oh my God, Judge Dredd is coming to Minnesota. And so am I. We have had such tremendous success in Washington, D.C., Memphis, Tennessee, and New Orleans, Louisiana, and virtually every other place that we have touched, quote unquote. And even Minnesota, crime is way down, but both Governor Walz and I want to make it better. It's like so many people are making the comparison. You have millions of illegals in Texas, millions, 2 million people, 2 million illegals in Texas. In Minnesota, you have barely more than 130,000. And you have all these problems in Minnesota. The problem is not ICE's job. The problem is how they are resisting ICE's job. That has to stop. And I think that Trump has nailed that with that. Not only Trump, but the way, the way it has been exposed, this domestic terrorist operation has helped a lot.
Governor Walz, Mayor Frey, and all Democrat leaders should turn over all criminal illegal aliens currently incarcerated in their prisons and jails to federal authorities, along with any illegal aliens with active warrants or known criminal histories for immediate deportation. Number 2, state and local law enforcement must agree to turn over all illegal aliens who are arrested by local police. And then thirdly, local police must assist federal law enforcement in apprehending and detaining illegal aliens who are wanted for crimes, especially violent crimes. If Governor Walz and Mayor Frey implement these common sense cooperative measures that I will add have already been implemented in nearly every single other state across the country, Customs and Border Patrol will not be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota.
So that's it. That's like a separation of what is going on. Governor Tim Walz, on his official account, I had a productive call with President Trump earlier today. He posted this before that, 2 hours before this. I'm going to go in order so we don't get this mess. He tweeted, I spoke to the president earlier. We had a productive conversation, and I explained to him that his staff doesn't have their facts straight about Minnesota. My thoughts in the Wall Street Journal. Look at that. This is, how can people frame this as a Tim Walz win if it's like, oh no, Trump is great. It's his staff who is, is confused about the actual facts about Minnesota. That's something. And then 2 hours later, I had a productive call with President Trump earlier today. I told him we need impartial investigations of the Minneapolis shootings involving federal agents, and that we needed to reduce the number of federal agents in Minnesota. The president agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota and to talk to the Department of Homeland Security about ensuring the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is able to conduct an independent investigation as would ordinarily be the case. All right? Some people are saying that Trump was folding. He shouldn't have done this. This is what Tim Walz posted on the Wall Street Journal. Part of it. There's a longer article. Everyone wants to see our immigration laws enforced. Not you with all the learning centers and all the fraud and all the people making bank in Minneapolis and all of Minnesota. That isn't what is happening in Minnesota. In recent weeks, masked agents have abducted children. They have separated children from their parents. They have racially profiled off-duty police officers. They have aggressively pulled people over and demanded to see their papers. They have broken into the homes of elderly citizens without warrants to drive them outside in freezing temperatures. I'm going to tell you something. This is very easy to disprove. If they have separated children from their parents, they have, what else? Have abducted children. If that had happened, if that had really happened, we would see that all over the mainstream media. You would see that everywhere. If one kid was actually kidnapped or abducted, we would see that everywhere. guarantee that. There's absolutely no effing way that happens. And okay, maybe that's happening. But if that happened, we would have seen that. Everywhere. There's absolutely zero chance this happens. All that Tim Walz claims it's happening in Minneapolis and in Minnesota, and I follow. I have a list with all, the people on the left, or all the libtards, and no, they are silent about everything. That isn't effective law enforcement. It isn't following the rule of law. It's chaos. It's illegal, and it's un-American. I have repeatedly appealed to President Trump to lower the temperature, but he refuses. I fear that his hope is for the tension between ICE agents and the communities they're ransacking to boil over, that he wants you to see more chaos on your TV screens. Protests turn into riots, more people get hurt. I find it funny. I was telling you that Minneapolis is like this test. It's like they're trying to doing this test in Minneapolis with the the signal gate, the signal chats, all the domestic terrorists organization, to see how they can better implement this in other cities. And it's funny because when I searched for my own words on X, I found out several commentators from the left saying that, yeah, Minneapolis is a test, an experiment, but from Trump. He is experimenting with this Gestapo-like activities, with this, killing, execution of people on the street to see what happens. All right. Think about being deranged. Think about being insane. As in, okay, yeah, let's go execute people on the street. As in, that's the thing. And the worst part is, so many people agreeing with them. So many people agree that that is a thing, that the government is actually seeking to execute people on the street. And what is ICE doing? I want to remind everyone, and I ask the question, what is ICE doing? Even if they can be a bit excessive with, like the example we saw, they're trying to deport criminals. They're trying to, go to detention centers, hand over these illegals, and let's deport them. That's what ICE is trying to do, but they're not finding any help in Minneapolis. They're not finding any help in Minnesota. Maybe they will right now. I hope. Minnesotans aren't taking the bait. They are protesting loudly and urgently, but also peacefully, with the whistles. Those whistles are unnerving. They're helping their neighbors cope with this violent, lawless assault on people of color throughout the state. They're walking children to school safely, preparing mutual aid packages, and organizing to make sure these atrocities are well documented so that those responsible can face justice. I would like to know, what does Tim Walz say about the luring centers, the fraud, the billions? And maybe we have time to talk about Ilhan Omar today as well. Mayor Jacob Frey, because there was not only a call between Tim Walz and Donald Trump. Mayor Jacob Frey, right? The one who cried over George Floyd's casket. The one who cried over George Floyd's casket, that was embarrassing. I spoke with President Trump today and appreciated the conversation. I expressed how much Minneapolis has benefited from our immigrant communities. Somalians, amazing, yeah. The mega mind people. And it was clear that my main ask is that Operation Metro Surge needs to end. The president agreed the present situation can continue. Now, let's see. That's why people are saying, Taco Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. What does Taco Tuesday mean? Taco. Trump always chimps out. I think that is a word, right? That is a word. Yeah, benefited. How benefited? I don't know, but those were his words. But I don't think Trump is just chimping out or just going away from this. I think that this is a bigger play, and we are only 24 hours into this. I don't know how many commentators are saying that it's over. It's over. Trump folded. Some federal agents will begin leaving the area tomorrow, and I will continue pushing for the rest involved in this operation to go. Minneapolis will continue to cooperate with the state and federal law enforcement on real criminal investigations, but we will not participate in unconstitutional arrests of our neighbors or enforce federal immigration law. All right. We will not participate in unconstitutional arrests of our neighbors or enforce federal immigration law. So he said that. He said that they will not enforce federal immigration law. I think that is, I think the amount of views this has in regards of the original post, the original tweet, yeah, that doesn't look like he's complying. That is pretty much, that should be illegal, right? Going against federal forces. It should be illegal, I think. Violent criminals should be held accountable based on the crimes they commit, not based on where they are from. Yeah, but again, after the violent criminals are dealt with, we need to address the fact that there are people illegally in the United States. And again, the problem is that you are lenient after the criminal. You have dealt with the criminals, with the rapists, with the murderers, with all that scum. If you're lenient with the rest, that is going to be exploited all over again. That is the problem. I'm going to mention that that's why it's so important to pass the SAVE Act. Voter ID. It's so important to pass the SAVE Act and make sure to call your senator, make sure to call your congressman to make sure the SAVE Act is passed. I will continue working with all levels of government to keep our communities safe, keep crime down, and put Minneapolis residents first. I plan to meet with Border Sergeant Homan tomorrow to further discuss next steps. And yes, Sassafras says, you are effing cooked. You're a dumb F who should be in prison for fraud, as Gunther Eagleman mentions. And yes, he is. I think that he is having the same hard time as in when Somalians forced him to eat that plate, how to say this, Somali platter, which tastes gross on you. I've been told. I am not thinking of eating that anytime soon. I don't know. That reminds me of those videos of food handling on TikTok. I wouldn't eat that if I were you, but I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. This goes on my Power Pundit channel. Make sure to check my Power Pundit channel. Much love and bliss. Let me see your comments. Well, they don't know is that the people in charge think less of them than we do. Bananas and rice. Oh yeah, no. Bananas and rice could be something edible. We could eat bananas and rice. What is the problem with bananas and rice? I mean, I remember that in Venezuela we had a sandwich. It was very simple. I don't know how to say this. Yuca. I always forget. Casabe. It's basically. I don't remember the name of the actual thing. But you basically was 2 layers of casabe, which is grinded yuca and just made. How to say this? Let me look for that. Let me see. Oh no, this is gonna be. If I can go for the real thing. Okay, this cassava. I don't know. Maybe some of you have seen this. This is from Dominican cooking, but we in Venezuela we eat this a lot. Let me in my movie magic behind here, and we eat this. We used to eat this and with a banana in the middle. If you were hungry, that is anything. Yeah, yuca root. Yeah, exactly that. Yuca, casabe. No, it's not plantain. Plantain is another thing. But it works. It works if you're hungry. if you're hungry, I would say that anything with a banana, anything with a that didn't come out well. Well, it's time to talk about Tom Homan. Oh wait, I started the recording when of time. Remember that all these topics are going to be on my channel. It's not only the Battle Language Guy channel, but the Power Pundit channel as well. Make sure to follow me on the Power Pundit as well. So we are ready to begin. And so we need to talk about Tom Homan and how he's arriving in Minneapolis to, well, he is the law arriving. And again, I had to put him in a Judge Dredd costume to drive the point home. So that's why Trump told him, okay, let's send him. And by the way, there are people claiming, an ex-claiming, that the best way to stop all the violence is to withdraw all law enforcement forces from the city. They are actually saying that. Somebody posted this clip from Tom Homan that we're going to watch. And they said, uneffing believable. All the deaths, all the protests, all the chaos will literally stop in 2 seconds if Trump gets ICE the F out of Minnesota. That's what they want. Just, yeah, if you let criminals do their crime stuff, there will be no more violence. That is their argument. That's how deranged these people are. But let's watch the clip that he shared about Tom Homan.
6% decline. 96% less people are coming. How many women aren't being raped? How many children aren't dying making that journey? How many women and children aren't being sex trafficked into this country every day? How many known suspected terrorists aren't just walking across that border? President Trump and this administration is saving thousands of lives every month. Hard stop. That's just a stone cold fact. I'm just proud to be a part of this. I work with Steve Miller every day. Steve Miller is one of the most brilliant people I've met in my entire life.
Yeah, this clip has some time, but the point still stands. And this graphic tells a lot about what is really going on, what is the real plan behind this. Thanks to Arthur McWaters. Let me get this straight. Number one, prior administrations deported millions of people and riots were basically non-existent. Number two, the moment Trump took office, a coordinated campaign by politicians and legacy media directly called for resistance to ICE. And you can see here the years and the immigration-related demonstrations by week. I don't know if you can see that you have this, let's say, okay, nothing out of the ordinary. And the moment you hit January 25, it just explodes. It literally explodes. How? Coincidence? Coincidence? You see the weekly ICE deportation flights? Okay, you see that the amount of weekly ICE deportation flights, all right. How interesting that you're here in Biden's territory and the amount of flights, the amount of deportation flights is basically the same. There's only this uptick in May with Trump, in May of 2025, but it's not like they are on overdrive, which is kind of disappointing, right? You want those flights to be on overdrive, but what is really on overdrive is those protests against ICE. So this is not organic in any way. I mean, if anyone wanted any sort of proof of this, no, this is not organic. Number three, once riots happen and people are dying, the spotlight shifts to stopping deportations and defunding ICE. If this was such a crime against humanity, why did no one riot in 2024? Because no one was paying for that organized domestic terrorism back in 2024. Because someone has to pay for all that hierarchy of people organized and all those license plates scanning, all those databases, all those signal chats organizing, all that. All of that. Someone has to pay because there are people, full-time jobs involved in this domestic terrorism. Who is funding that? We hope that the FBI, we hope that Kash Patel gets to the bottom of this, and Pam Bondi sends them a strongly worded letter. I won't stop mocking that. The intention behind the unrest is not empathy. Empathy is being manufactured on false grounds to achieve political aims, and people are getting hurt. That is what's going on, and it's official. For those who are doubting what Trump is doing, Border Czar Tom Homan will be calling the shots in Minnesota now, coordinating ICE operations and fraud investigations. Tim Walz and Jacob Frey are not off the hook. Homan doesn't screw around. Dude is gonna go full Judge Dredd. The deportations will continue whether Jacob Frey wants it or not. Let's watch this.
The Trump administration is making some major changes on the ground here in Minnesota. Border Czar Tom Homan will now be the lead. He will be reporting directly to the president. Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino had been acting as the Border Patrol lead here, even hosting daily press conferences, really the face of the operation here. But Bovino is now returning to be Sector Chief in El Centro, California, and other Border Patrol agents are leaving as well.
So yeah, Bovino was basically dismissed, and people are saying that this shouldn't have happened. But again, it's like the board is trying. The game is still being played. Okay, let's see how this evolves, because it's not been just 24 hours. You need at least 48 hours to see what happens in everything. Maybe 72. Oh, sorry. Let's continue.
Now, Tom Homan is going to be calling the shots. Fox has previously reported that Homan operates differently than Bovino, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, and top White House advisor Stephen Miller. Yesterday, the president said he had constructive calls with Governor Walz and Mayor Frey. Walz writing afterward, "I had a productive call with President Trump earlier today. I told him we need impartial investigations of the Minneapolis shootings involving federal agents and that we need to reduce the number of federal agents in Minnesota." Here's the White House press secretary.
It is President Trump's hope and wish and demand for the resistance and chaos to end today. That's why President Trump spoke with Governor Walz directly this morning, and he has outlined a clear and simple path to restoring law and order in Minnesota. If Governor Walz and Mayor Frey implement these common sense cooperative measures that, I will add, have already been implemented in nearly every single other state across the country, Customs and Border Patrol will not be needed to support ICE on the ground in Minnesota.
Yeah, it would be so easy if cities, if states cooperated, and it's so baffling, and I don't understand why anybody wouldn't want criminals out of their jails, out of their cities, safer cities. No, they don't want that, because they're playing this status games in which they love these criminals. So I see so many people saying that these criminals should not be in jail. They should have given another opportunity. They're human, something like that. That societal empathy. And I say that it's like you need to keep the criminals in jail or deported, and the people rooting for them being released or into the streets again should be put in insane asylums. And the judges who have released them over and over again should be prosecuted and sent to jail as well. I don't know, play them some kind of Mortal Kombat games with illegals as well that are in jail, and maybe go full pay-per-view with all that and rack some money.
ICE and local law enforcement can peacefully work together.
Now, Caroline Levitt said Tom Homan was on a plane here to Minnesota yesterday. The president says Homan will meet with Mayor Frey today. And DHS tells Fox it is reviewing body camera video from officers involved in the shooting death of Alex Preddy on Saturday.
It turns out there was body cam footage. Let's see if they're going to release that to the public. It would be interesting to review that analysis with those body cam footage.
Preddy was seen using a cell phone to take video and was getting near immigration agents. DHS is also investigating the possibility that the gun Preddy had on him may have accidentally fired after he was on the ground. And last night, agitators continued their campaign of targeting hotels where they think immigration agents are staying, making as much noise as possible to prevent agents from getting rest. Agitators gathered outside a hotel in Maple Grove where they think Border Patrol Commander at Large Gregory Bavino was staying.
Yeah, they also have this. Minnesota State Patrol moves in to arrest protesters. Yeah, to be a fly on the wall for that phone call between Walz and Trump, as Data Republican says. Yeah, we all would have wanted that. Let's see what's happening here.
You are now under arrest. Please sit down and wait for instruction.
All right.
Where's your credentials?
I'm at level 12 news.
I can't hear you.
I'm at level 12 news. BG on the scene. I'm just pressed.
You don't have any press credentials?
I don't. I can show you.
All right, why don't you move out there, okay?
Oh.
Just get out there. Stay outside the line, okay? Coming out. Coming out.
Yeah, this is what has to be done. 100%. If the deal Trump struck with Walz, says Will Chamberlain, is we will agree to reduce our footprint if you agree to police the rioters, that is an ambiguous Trump win. The few protesters that are left are literally being herded like cattle. Complete disaster for the left. Yep, this is interesting. So it's working. Yeah, this is working. This is working. I guess that Trump said, well, either you do the job or I will do it myself. And you would prefer for me to do the job because it's not me who's going to do the job. It's Tom Homan, the one who's going to do the job. And you don't want to make Tom Homan hangry. Sorry, hangry. Hangry is not the word. Hangry is when you're angry and hungry, right? But you don't want to. I think that Tom Homan is the kind of guy that you don't want to make him hangry either. So, yeah, I think that fits. Nick Sortor, hell yes, Maple Grove police went hard after rioters in Minnesota when they attempted to terrorize Greg Bovino's hotel. Minneapolis PD, take note that this is how you handle leftist degenerate rioters.
My name is
They're great shots.
I know you're getting some good shots.
Yeah, I know you're getting some great shots. Yeah, people are finding out. People are finding out 100%, and this is a sight to behold. Massive. Minnesota police are holding nothing back against the left now. President Trump forced Tim Walz into caving big time, and arrests were made outside the federal agent's hotel. The rioters are headed to jail. This is what winning looks like. I think this is the same clip that we have. Nope, there's another clip. Being apprehended.
Do you work for a company?
Yeah.
Yep, so it's working. So yeah, this is the kind of things that I don't know why people rush to jump into conclusions like if they are not aware that Trump has negotiated things around the world in, well, way more complicated cases than this, more complicated circumstances. So he's a negotiator. He knows how to pressure people into compromising. He knows that he knows how to pressure and what can he compromise as well. And I think that sending Tom Homan was the right message. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. This goes on my Power Pundit channel. Make sure to like and subscribe there as well. Much love and bliss. I'm watching your comments. So many of you are happy that this is happening because, this is literally an experiment, as we were mentioning, that all these people underground, or these underground masterminds were doing to extrapolate to any city in the United States. And when we talk about bad actors, I'm going to switch into the next topic right now. I'm going to jump into the next topic, not lose the pace. We need to talk about Ilhan Omar, which I don't know at this point. There's so much about her, and I don't know how she hasn't been prosecuted. It is my understanding that he is being investigated right now by the Department of Justice. If that's so, well, that is a great win, but Ilhan Omar has to be stopped in some way or another, because this is embarrassing for not only for Minnesota, but for the entire United States, because people are asking, I am one of them, how come someone like Ilhan Omar becomes a congresswoman in the United States? How does that happen? I don't understand. Ilhan Omar may have misrepresented her birth. Besides all the claims, and you know that she married her brother, to, give him papers in the United States. Now she claims she was 17 in the year 2000. Her birth year of 1981 was her legislative page, Wikipedia, and many other web pages. So when her father was eligible to apply for naturalization, she would have been already over 18 years old. So what? Let's watch this.
When I was 8, we came to the refugee camp and waited 4 years for that process to take place for us to relocate here to the U.S. From what I remember at the age of 12.
Based on the limited information that we have, it appears that Ilhan Omar never obtained her U.S. citizenship. According to the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, Clause 2, a person who serves in the Congress has to have been 7 years a citizen of the United States. Now, the Omar family moved to the U.S. in 1995, and by law, refugees must be a lawful permanent resident for 5 years to be eligible to apply for U.S. citizenship. That would have been the year 2000 for her father. The limited sources that we have show that she became a citizen in 2000 when she was 17. The New York Times, AP News show that she was 17 when she became a citizen in 2000. The problem with that is that...
Okay, so far so good, right? So I don't see anything wrong so far.
Ilhan Omar was not 17 in the year 2000.
Oh.
How do we know? Well, because numerous sources and her Minnesota legislative page show that her birth date was October 4th, 1981.
Oh.
Omar was not eligible to gain U.S. citizenship in 2000 as a minor. That is when she turned 19.
Oh, nice. So yeah, this is all a lie with these people. All scammers. All scammers.
So the immigration laws provide for 3 main mechanisms that a U.S. citizen or refugee parent can potentially use to seek citizenship for their child. The first one, acquisition of citizenship. If you or your spouse or both are United States citizens and your child was born abroad, this does not apply to Ilhan Omar because her parents were not U.S. citizens when she was born in Somalia. Number 2, derivation of citizenship. For children of refugees whose child turned 18 years old on or after February 27, 2001, and this does not apply. Derivation of citizenship does not apply because she turned 19 in the year 2000. Number 3, application for citizenship under Section 322 of the Immigration and Naturalization Act. One parent is a U.S. citizen, usually by naturalization. Now, remember, her father could only apply for naturalization in the year 2000, and the child has to be under the age of 18, which she was not. So, number 3 does not apply to Ilhan Omar.
It was a scam as well. She was not under 18 years old. They just forged something. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
It appears Ilhan Omar never obtained U.S. citizenship as an adult in the year 2000 when she was 19, and then legally eligible to apply and become a U.S. citizen. Ilhan Omar has not corrected the record. U.S. citizenship is a requirement to serve in the U.S. Congress, and the American people have a right to verify that U.S. citizenship. Naturalization records are only obtainable through a Freedom of Information Act request. Here's the catch. That request will not be answered unless Omar gives her permission for that request to be fulfilled. No. So until Ilhan Omar provides proof of her U.S. citizenship,
which she won't,
rather than thinking of her as a dual citizen, we will think of her as a Somali nationalist. Ilhan Omar, the American people have a right to know. We need verification that you actually obtained U.S. citizenship.
Oh my God, she's gonna craft that on ChatGPT. She's gonna add ChatGPT to generate something, and this is my birth certificate, and you would see that the wacky letters and all that stuff. I don't know, Google Gemini or ChatGPT or any AI tool. Oh no. Holy shit. Financial disclosures show Ilhan Omar's winery investment reportedly jumped in value from $15,000 to $50,000 in 2023 to between $1 million and $5 million in 2024. It's Ilhan Omar. I think that's I heard that pronunciation. I think the Arabic pronunciation should be Ilhan. You have to pronounce the H. Ilhan Omar, a wine wizard or something. She's very good with the wine business. I don't know. Despite no visible winery location, no apparent business activity, no working phone number, and no wine production. Maybe the winery is located at the Leering Center. And it's called the Winery. The Winery. Not a winery, but the Winery. Yeah, Ma'am Danny is another fraud. That is fraud of the fraud. What is happening?
I just investigated Ilhan Omar's official financial disclosures, and what I found was so dark and criminal, I don't know how she gets out of this without going to jail. Have a look at this. Here's Ilhan Omar's financial disclosure from the Congressional Record, year 2023. I want to bring your attention to this company right down here, Est Cru LLC. This is a winery in Santa Rosa, California. It's not doing that well. The total value of the winery is listed at $15,000, and Ilhan Omar's barely making any money off of it at all. Hardly enough to pay a parking ticket. Okay, that's fine. Nothing really mysterious there. Businesses fail all the time. But go ahead and look at her filing for 2024, and you'll find that Est Cru Winery, the same company in the same location, is now worth $5 million. That's incredible, up from $15,000. And now,
yeah, absolutely, a wine wizard.
Ilhan Omar's making enough to pay rent. So this must be one of the most successful companies ever. Let's go ahead and check in on this winery. You know, maybe we could buy some wine.
First generation sommelier from Somalia.
Let's see if we can buy some Est Cru Winery. Here's Est Cru's social media Facebook page. You'll see here that the last post, was in 2023.
All right.
Wasn't this the year that they were supposed to, go really big and make Ilhan Omar millions of dollars? Same thing on their Instagram.
Yeah, how come she went so big with that winery without social media presence, without, I don't know, pushing ads or something, or going, I don't know, even Meghan put more effort in her Jose wine collection than Ilhan Omar, and that's saying something. That is saying something.
And they don't have an X, so let's go ahead and check their official website. What is Est Cru? We are winemakers and memory curators, okay? Est Cru Winery
Est Cru
has a bunch of brands that's led by these people, creators of eye-catching labels. So
what is this?
Sure, I can go.
No, it's like is this the name S Crew? S Crew Wines. What kind of name is that? Oh, E Saint Crew. E Saint Crew. I don't know. I think that I have seen bad brand names like, I don't know, Head and Shoulders, which is one of the worst brand names in history of humankind. But that takes the trophy. That one takes the trophy.
So I'm sure I can go and get some of their wine, right? Well, they don't have any activities here, so maybe I could just go to their location and buy some of their wines, or maybe give them a call. Let's try and go to their location here. This is the Google Street View of Est Crew Winery, and what you'll find here is an empty parking lot. Doesn't actually look like an operational business. Certainly isn't the same name. So, okay, let's go ahead and give them a call. See if maybe they pick up. Let's go ahead and call the number on the webpage. Let's go ahead and give them a call and find out. Oh no, user busy. Let's try. Okay.
Oh my God. They must have PDF files to teach how to scam.
So that didn't work. Is there any wine?
Maybe Somalis can have some sort of curses on curses how to scam people. The definitive edition, the unabridged edition. Yeah, this is baffling. This is horrific.
In this wine company, is there anything about wine? Because I see like stuff about events, but like, what is this exactly? Aren't you supposed to sell wine at your wine company? Where are your wines? Oh, there are no wines. You want to know why? Because this is a fake company. Rep. Ilhan Omar's husband accused of swindling investors in their California winery.
Oh.
They stole millions from cannabis growers. You can see here's the lawsuit.
From what?
Right here, saying that Tim Minette, who's Ilhan Omar's third husband, no relation, swindled his investors and defrauded them. How did Minette get this relationship? Well, the current Attorney General of Minnesota, Keith Ellison, used to work for him.
Oh no, this is way too much. The amount of corruption here and scamming, corruption, everything. This is like this cancer. What is happening? What happened to Minneapolis? What happened to Minnesota? This is way too much. This is way too much. I don't know. These people. It is I'm pretty sure that this was the goodwill of many Minnesotans was hijacked to put these people in power and just completely infect the state and the cities with all these scams. And I don't know how can this be fixed, because the problem is it is a brainwashing effort to make sure that nobody rises their head, they even defend what is going on. Oh, you shouldn't go against the Somalians. You shouldn't go against the Somalians. This is sad, but this should be investigated. And this is the kind of things that's how you infect cities and states in such a way that you can even mobilize the people into confronting law enforcement, as in putting themselves in danger. And again, I'm going to say this without any sort of, I'm not being facetious when I say this. Do not get yourself in trouble. Do not put yourself in danger. That is not the way to protest. If you want to protest, if you want to say something against something that the government is doing, do not put yourself in danger. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Much love and bliss. And we still have one topic for today. It has been a nice, very nice, what we have seen here. But I want to talk about one topic that has, maybe I didn't know this existed. I'm going to jump into the topic right now. First of all, when I read the super chat that is pending, Margie, super sticker, a sparkling diamond. Thank you, Margie. Make sure to read your super sticker. And I'm going to talk about the book. I didn't know this book existed, and maybe so many of you know about this book but I didn't know about it, and I absolutely need to talk about this. It is popped up on my timeline. And so, yes, this book popped up on my timeline, The Rainbow Fish, and I saw Mimetic Sisyphus. I follow Mimetic from a while ago, and he said, a deeply evil book from Marcus Pfister. All right, I don't know what this book is about, or I didn't know what this book was about until I found out. You know, like that meme, those who know, those who don't know, or vice versa. I didn't know, then I found out. And thanks to Mimetic for having a very brief summary of what this book is about and why this is kind of things that children should not be reading. And I don't understand how this book is so old. It was released in 1992. And this book is about, yes, the plot, for those who don't know, is there was once this beautiful fish with amazing scales. Everyone was amazed with her. Then one day, a small fish asked for one of the scales. Since you have so many, the rainbow fish says, what? No, that's crazy. The small fish tells all the other fish that they decide to ostracize the rainbow fish from fish society. The rainbow fish seeks advice from a demon, an octopus in a dark, deep cave. The demon, the octopus, tells the fish she should rip off her shiny scales and give them to the other fish. The rainbow fish does what the demon suggests, and all the other fish wear the ripped off scales on top of their arm. They let her play with them again. I'm going to jump directly to the meme that I have prepared at the end of this. Effing commie mofos. I mean, there's the only explanation I have to this. This can only come from the mind of a commie. And they want to inject onto people. And this was in 1992. 1992. Rainbow Fish literally says, cut off pieces of your body and give them to other people to feel better about yourself. And it preaches the delusion communist nonsense to kids. Yeah, it's like that. You see, literally, you see one of the pages is the rainbow fish with her beautiful scales. He goes to the octopus. Oh, that octopus looks familiar. That octopus looks familiar. I've seen that octopus somewhere. I think that somebody made a comment that that octopus reminded them of somebody. It doesn't look like a regular octopus. It looks like a beard. And that's why it reminded them. Orca Borg. Am I tripping, or the octopus tentacles look like a beard? Yeah, this is on point. That octopus is Marxist. The octopus said, give away your shining scales. You won't be as beautiful, but you will have friends. I can't do that, cried the rainbow fish. Yeah, he was fighting this communist stuff. And what? Who would, in their right mind, a commie, of course, a communist, because there are people like this. American Misty, the moral of the story is that all the other fish are right to be envious, and the pretty fish has a moral obligation to give into peer pressure and redistribute. I don't know how to say that. Let me see. Redistribute the means of production, his beauty, by ripping his own scales off. The other fish are never told they are wrong to be envious. So that is the moral of this story. What is this? What is this? Mr. Grimm, the rainbow fish skinned itself alive for others that only wanted to consume it. It's not enough that it can be admired for its beauty. It must be destroyed and ripped apart for some kind of sick notion of equality that depends on its demise and the complete erasure of what made the rainbow fish special in the first place. And yes, this is the guy who wrote this, and the guy is Swiss. Yeah, he has, oh my God, had to be European. Marcus Pfister. I remember that there's a tweet that Joshua Lysak posts every now and then. It's like, since you have so much money, you should give some money to us. And so many people, I would argue that almost half of the population thinks like this. You have so much, you should give it to people. You should give it to people. Why? Why? Okay, I can understand that there can be charity and people can be charitable and you can give your 10%, but it's not like something that is imposed. And we know that the government wants way more than 10% from you. It wants around 30 to 40%. To what? To give to the other people who have not built anything like you, who have not created anything that like you, who have not worked their asses off like you have done. Yes, people can be, sometimes have bad streak. I have been in a bad streak, but I have pulled myself from that bad streak. And I don't like people who are always, oh yeah, we want this freebies and all that stuff. And I saw there's a meme as well from Red Brown. See, even in second grade, why it doesn't change? It's not responding. My software is not responding. Why? Should be changing. Is the communists? The communists are trying to hijack. Communists are hijacking my live stream right now. I was about to. I want to change to. Where's that? Why can't I change? Yeah, it's not working. I'm trying to change. Okay, now it's working. The communists are trying to hijack my show. Even in second grade, that book smelled wrong. I hated that book. Communist detected, engaged defense protocol, and this meme is everything. Teacher, did you bring enough for the whole class? 8-year-old me, communist detected on American soil, lethal for engage. I hated that so much. I hated that so much back in Venezuela, in elementary school. Oh, you have to share with your friends. Oh, you have to share. I had no problem of sharing. Even gifting some things that I didn't use anymore. Even I remember that I got, when I got my Nintendo, I had an old console, a video game console, and I just gave away my old video games to my friends. Since I had no problem, they didn't have these video games, I gave that to him. But that was on me. I was not forced to do it. But the whole, you have to share what you have. No. I want to do this on my terms. And we know that these people are not going to wait until you do it on your terms. They're going to take it away from you. They're going to take that away from you. And tell me if you are aligned with this or not. Yeah, I had a Nintendo. I had the original Nintendo, and I had no use for the previous console. And I said, I'm not going to sell this. I'm not going to play these games anymore. I just gave them away because why not? I was like that. But I would love to know what do you think about this? If you have read this book, if you have seen this book in the wild still, in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss. So yeah, that's how we get to the end of today's show. Almost 2 hours. It was very fun. Most likely, you realize that yesterday I made a video about Minneapolis, was a live stream, a show about Minneapolis, was kind of on the short end of my shows. It was like 1 hour. Shows should be around 2 hours. Sometimes it's gonna be a 1 hour. Sometimes I was not feeling that well in terms of my voice. I'm much better today. I'm just already I'm way past that cold that I had, and most likely my shows are gonna be around 2 hour-ish. But they're going to be every day. No matter what, they're going to be every day. Maybe we will have some more frantic shows that last 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. But if we have the content, then that is going to be the show. Remember that every single one of these topics are going to be distributed between my Bottle Language Guy channel, my Power Pundit channel, my Royal Road channel. When I talk about Meghan and Harry, if I don't have an off ramp, because sometimes we're treating very delicate topics here on my show. If I don't have an off ramp to lead into something more, with more levity, maybe, the Blake Lively scandal or the Meghan Markle scandal, then I will just keep it separated from my show. But you can still check my Royal Road channel for everything regarding Meghan and Harry. So, my Bottle Language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bottle Language Guy. Until we meet tomorrow on episode, a very interesting number, 111. Remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. Don't get in the way of law enforcement, please. Remember, I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.